Now, in the example that we just looked at where we were finding the resultant force, so the overall force from two coplanar forces, so two forces that were not perpendicular at right angles. In this first example, we had our forces already arranged from us, so they were tip to tail. So the end of this vector touches the tip of this vector so that we can trace our finger along, following the arrows, and go from the start to the finish. But we can use this same parallelogram method with if we're given two coplanar forces that aren't arranged tip to tail. So let's look at the same two forces, but the starting diagram looks a bit different. So we've still got a 6 Newton force to the right, and we've still got our 5.7 Newton force in the same direction as on the previous example, but here you can see the two tails of the vectors are touching. It's not going tip to tail. So if I try to trace my finger along here, I can't then carry on the journey because I could trace it along there. So we have to be aware of this and make sure that when we're doing our scale diagrams, we're tip to tail. But we can still use the parallelogram method from this base diagram if this is what we're given in the exam paper. So let's have a look at that now. So we're still going to draw the parallelogram in. So we draw two lines that are the same length but are parallel to the vector. So let's draw this one first again. So I need a 6 centimetre line parallel to here that's going from here to make the parallelogram across the top. So this line is the same length as this vector and they're parallel. And then I'm going to do the same here, so I need a line the same length as this line but parallel, joining these 2 points. So we'll check it's the right length. So it should be 5 points. Take a bit of time to make sure your ruler's in the right place. So I've drawn my parallelogram and I've got two lines that are the same length and parallel to my two vectors. So here's my other line, parallel and the same length to this vector. Now I've got my parallelogram. The resultant force is still the diagonal across the parallelogram. So I get my ruler and I draw in the diagonal. So here's my start point. So I draw in the diagonal. I'm going to put an arrowhead on it. I'm going to label it resultant force. I'm going to make my working really clear so that if I've made a mistake somewhere, I can still get credit for using the right method because I've labelled it clearly. So this is our resultant force, the diagonal across the parallelogram that we've drawn. So now we need to do the same thing we've done before, measure the length of it to find the magnitude. Got 10.7 centimetres there. Now remember, this isn't the magnitude of the force, this is the length of the arrow. I need to use the scale to convert this into a force. So it's going to be 10.7 newtons according to this scale. But this is just the magnitude. That's not going to get me all the marks yet because vectors have got magnitude and direction. So I need to get my protractor again, line this cross point, the start point there, line this line up here with this base vector. And then I measure the size of this angle here, 22 degrees. And then over here where I'm giving my answer, 10.7 newtons, 22 degrees above horizontal. So I found the magnitude of the resultant force in newtons and I've given the direction. So this is now complete. And you can see, if we compare it to our previous one where we had been given the two vectors top to tail, we're getting the same answer with our scale diagram. So we can use this parallelogram method and draw the parallelogram in, and the diagonal is the resultant even if we've got two vectors here that are tail to tail rather than tip to tail.